Scientists suggest possibility of no immunity against coronavirus. Newly published research on the coronavirus suggests that there may be no immunity against COVID-19 among humans. The researchers came to this conclusion after studying Wuhan hospital workers who had been exposed to infected patients at the beginning of the pandemic. The scientists analyzed the presence of antibodies in the hospital workers' blood work, and out of around 23,000 samples that they tested, only 4% showed antibodies as of April. The problem is that they believe at least a quarter of all the samples they tested could have been directly exposed to the virus at some point. The research was published in a non-peer-reviewed paper posted on medrxiv.org, a preprint server for health sciences. In the paper, the researchers concluded people are unlikely to produce long-lasting protective antibodies against this virus. According to the South China Morning Post, many of the efforts being undertaken to combat the coronavirus are based on the assumption that coronavirus-positive patients who recover end up with antibodies that can protect them from reinfection. Pharmaceutical companies all over the world are developing coronavirus vaccines, while recovered patients are asked to donate blood plasma for the antibody therapy. Perhaps the most worrying is that some countries are considering the use of immune certificates for already recovered patients. The newly published research suggests that only a few of the possibly infected hospital workers produce antibodies, and even fewer produce long-lasting ones. The immune system generates these antibodies to bind with the coronavirus spike protein and prevent it from infecting the body's cells. Many severe acute respiratory syndrome or SARS patients had evidence of immunoglobulin G antibodies 12 years after they were initially infected with the virus. The study on healthcare workers in Wuhan, however, found that only around 4.6% of general hospital staff and 4% of healthcare workers had the immunoglobulin G antibody, despite experts estimating that around 25% of Wuhan hospital employees contracted COVID-19. It's possible that they could have had COVID-19 without any symptoms, or only with mild symptoms, considering that human-to-human transmission was not confirmed until late January 2020. Before it was confirmed, healthcare workers failed to wear extra protective equipment when treating coronavirus patients. The study was completed by American and Chinese scientists from the University of Texas in Galveston and Wuhan University's Zhongnan Hospital.